mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J. Mitch. We got Jackie Boy.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach. Like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think I'm going to practice today. And I was like, I look back and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You're more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time
Good show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today is Wednesday, April 17th. Lloyd is,
0-1.
yeah, he's on one. He's having some jokes with our guests.
Happy to be here.
We have a big show today. We got a lot of baseball conversation. Obviously, LSU comes off a midweek game. I can't talk.
Midweek game.
Midweek
UNO
game
6-3
win against UNO, playing against former LSU Tiger Blake Dean and Hal Hughes. Hal Hughes is an assistant coach over there, I believe.
And former Tiger recruit that Paul Maneri signed.
Hal Hughes was at LSU?
No, I'm talking about Owen UNO. There's the guy that hit the home run.
Oh, he was at LSU as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. A lot of LSU
UNO reverse
there.
card.
Yeah. But LSU comes off a 6-3 win, moving on to another road series this weekend against Missouri. We're going to talk about all of that, but before we talk about our opinions and what we would like to see, we have another special guest. I can't talk at all.
What is happening?
You're all right.
Yeah.
Thanks to Gordon Mckernan Injury Attorneys. Jesus
This is
Christ,
the one we'll
dude.
cut up. This is the read.
What are we doing right now?
What's the number?
Josh Pearson, live in studio to talk all things LSU baseball. That was wild. I don't know what was going on. My head was just...
That's what happened when Buzz is in the building.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. I got, boss man, Gord, the G team is looking over my shoulder, bringing in bringing in Josh Pearson. We got a lot to talk about. Before we get to him, though, let's run through these Heineken headlines. The Pels, 7th seed in the play-in tournament, lose. They play again on Friday. Trying to go, Lloyd. Believe it or not, I'm gonna make it there. I was waiting for the postseason. It doesn't look like they may not be making it in the postseason.
This is your final opportunity.
It's my final
You're
shot
running out
to
of
get
time.
there.
And
I'm
guess who
running
you
out of
missed?
time. Huh?
Guess who you missed?
I know Zion's not going to play. He's out. Hammy. Put on a show. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, last night.
40 points. Comes out the game with a hamstring injury. That's going to keep him out of the next game. Not good. Hopefully they can somehow figure out a way to win that game. NFL draft is 8 days away. Is Bill Belichick was he sabotaged?
Oh, absolutely.
Robert Kraft?
This is what you do.
He says, hey, no, don't sign that guy. Guy's an arrogant prick.
Right.
You don't need to sign a measure. You don't need to hire a measure head coach.
I won all those championships.
Not great, but then he comes on. Look, you're going to see a different side of Bill in the draft. Bill's going to be out there with the Pat McAfee show, giving his insight, talking about what he would do if he was in the GM. Right now, Patriots are probably laughing. Like, yeah, we saw what happens when you're the GM and you don't have Tom Brady. You don't draft anybody good. But
I was going to say, the real question is, how do you sabotage a man that you employed for 20-plus years and, extended 4 to 5 times?
And you gave him the president and the GM and the coach of the team.
So if you're the other team that let Kraft sabotage you, you're an idiot, if you ask me.
I agree. I don't know.
Egg on your face, Bob.
Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that deal is, but news came out. Aaron Rodgers back in the news with
not football news.
Some wild.
When's the last time it was football news?
Hey,
he's back at practice. He's throwing routes. He's looking forward. They're talking about them drafting Brock Bowers, which would be, honestly, that would be enormous because I think that they have all the other pieces. But he's back. He's smiling at practice. Got the mustache, new look. But throwing out some outrageous.
I feel like he dropped that nugget on just so he can get more cameras and eyes and thoughts on what's going on over there.
If you don't know what he said, he's trending on Twitter.
Go take a look.
Anybody want to, Lloyd? You want to kind of give just a brief?
Well, what has
just
happened?
a headline.
Lloyd,
just
we're
a headline.
a sports
just a
show too, Lloyd.
Yeah, just a headline.
Sports show.
Well, there's some layers to this because we all know Aaron Rodgers as of now in his, I guess, off-season routine. He went back to the well.
They said it was the best one yet.
And then he comes back and says AIDS is fake. So
yeah, AIDS was made up,
made in the lab,
created by
it was COVID-18.
Yeah, by the Russians or it was in the 80s. I think it was created by America, by somebody. Yeah, the government. But
this might get our stream banned.
But it was I
think y'all trying hard.
Wild deal. Wild deal.
Aaron Rodgers, I'm not an epidemiologist, but I can read.
Okay.
So, not a doctor.
Crazy deal. But obviously he's making his.
It also matters what you read.
His ways. Yes, it does.
Coming from Lloyd too.
You can read, but what you the actual source you're getting it from makes a difference.
Yeah.
Just wild, but. We'll talk about that at the back half of this show. We're not here to talk about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
NFL.
Josh, your thoughts.
Transfer portal number 2 just opened. Lloyd, who we were expecting to get some action in that?
Yes, as you've seen, Brian Kelly.
Recruiting guru.
Yeah, me. As you've seen, like obviously, the NIL money is there.
Don't do what I did.
I know.
Yep.
I know. It's
slow. Be slow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, controlled.
And so Brian Kelly came out, spoke to the media, and said that their only focus is on defensive line. They have upwards of $7 million to play with. What I've heard.
Who said that?
That's what Gordon said.
I was about to say Brian Kelly said that.
No.
That's crazy. We got $7 million.
No, he said his focus is on D-line. Okay. And then when you hear the interviews that Gordon did on Moscona's show, that he was like, they now have a coffer. I think they have 1.5 at least because they offered Brian Thomas, Mekhi Wingo, and Mason Smith to come back. They didn't. And so they all offered him, I believe, around $500,000. So
right, so you got that money that you have extra.
You
thought maybe.
Explain
look, I guess
it's a surplus.
I guess it was a nice shot to try to get those guys back. I think that was very
you wish.
Understood they probably weren't coming back, but you got to throw them something.
Yeah, you got to try.
To see if it happens. Maybe
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
It's crazy.
Michael Scott.
It is
Wayne Gretzky.
Michael Scott. Wayne Gretzky. It is Wednesday, so it is also Ask Mikie and Mitch Day. Put your questions in the chat. We have a couple questions that we had from Twitter. We're going to get to them throughout the course of the show. Okay. Those are the Heineken headlines. Let's get to the man of the hour, which is number 11, Josh Pearson. Second baseman / right fielder / left fielder / professional hitter / whatever you want him to be, it seems like.
/ everything.
/ everything,
yeah,
right?
/ everything.
That's kind of where baseball's going, right? You go look at, we were just talking off air about the Dodgers, and we're talking about Mookie Betts, who's the best player in baseball, hitting just under 400, 6 homers. He's playing shortstop, came up as a second baseman, played some second for the Dodgers, then he played right, then he played center.
He's doing it on the team with the highest payroll, too.
Yeah, with the highest payroll. So they're moving their best player, second best player, I guess, after Ohtani, around because they value the versatility. How is that transition? I know we talked to you earlier in the year when it was still kind of the beginning of the season. You're still kind of getting your feet wet with it. But now you're right in the middle of the season, right in the middle of the SEC season. How's that transition been? How have you liked the versatility side of it? And do you think that's going to help you in the long run?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it because, normally I go to practice and I know I'm going to do the same outfield drills every single day, something like that. But now I got to do second base stuff too, and
it's more fun.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun.
I always used to watch the infielders do their drills. Like, man, that looks so much more fun. Then you talk to them, and you're like, no, it's exhausting as shit.
And now, if I'm not in the lineup, normally it would just be like if I see an outfielder limping, I start moving around. Now it's like if anybody on the field starts limping, I'm gonna get up, start touching my toes, and do some squats.
Are you limited?
Did you pitch at all in high school?
In 8th grade, probably.
How was it?
I didn't throw very hard. But,
throw strikes?
Yeah, I did throw strikes.
Yeah, I did not. I could not.
Lord, are you trying to say something?
One more spot for you.
Second, are you limited to just second and the outfielder? Hey, throw me at third base. I'll figure it out there if I need to.
I can figure it out. I've done a few ground balls there. If I had to play there in a game, I could field the position about as good as you'd expect, but I could field the ground ball and throw it to first.
That's the big thing. Catch it and throw it. You obviously started off not great, right? Yeah. Not as y'all had intended to start off.
They started off great, the SEC.
I'm talking about SEC, right? In SEC play, you've gotten through the midway point. You're at 5 weeks in. You're 3-12, right? Obviously, there's no hiding it. There's no, tiptoeing around it. You haven't started off the way I'd wanted to, but you have 15 games left. What's the message in the clubhouse right now? How is the attitude and personality of the team and Jay moving forward?
Yeah, we all know that the season is super far from being over. And, if we win 15 SEC games, then we're right back to hosting a super regional at the box. So that's just kind of the mentality in the locker room, things like that. We carry ourselves at practice like we're the number one team in the country, and that's how we're going to approach everything from now on. And, just can't get down. It is what it is right now. We're at the point we are because of how we've played on the field, and we can get to where we want to be by how we play on the field. So it's just kind of all up to us, and we want to stay positive.
Now, there's always the outside noise of being able to see kind of all the stuff going on. Coaches go about it different ways, and some coaches want you to see it, some coaches don't want you to see it. How has Jay gone about the start of y'all or the first half of the SEC season when it comes to, hey, this is where we are and what we need to do, or is it singular focus really on game by game, pitch by pitch, however you want to say it, and let's see if we can find our way back to where we want to be?
Yeah, we really take it pitch by pitch. That's what we try to do. That's what we practice all the time, is just taking everything one pitch at a time. We got big words in our locker room that say one pitch at a time, and so we can't really get away from that. If we start looking at the long run, then you start missing what's in front of you at that day, and we just got to know to take it one pitch at a time all the time.
The locker room, dude. You go through a skid, you go through a slide, you can kind of start seeing some people here and there maybe needing to be refocused, maybe needing to be brought back in. Right now, with where y'all are and how things are, where's the locker room right now? Where do you feel like everyone is, and how close are y'all to breaking out and getting where you want to be?
We all have a lot of faith in ourselves, and we all know that whoever goes out there is going to get the job done. We have full trust in every single person in there, and you could put any person on the field, and you're going to have the whole dugout support. You're going to have the coaches' support, everything like that. And we're just trying to stay super positive. We don't have our phones in the locker room, so we play a lot of Uno in the locker room. Yeah, So it kind
I
of
could bring the court jester in there, and he could kind of do some.
I'm telling you, I could do something.
yeah, Uno helps a lot. I mean, it helps pass time in the locker room.
No doubt. And
Yeah.
honestly, and I said this whenever you said the no cell phones thing. I was like, honestly, the guys are gonna like hang out more. Right?
Yeah.
You're hanging out, but when you're hanging out on the phone, you're not really.
Yeah.
There. Like that's a different thing. That's a good thing, I think.
So Uno's been the big game. Has there been any other big games that's
any other card
come
games
out?
that y'all do?
We played blackjack a little bit, but
Who's the dealer?
Oh,
Shohei.
real money, fake money.
Shohei.
we just used the Uno cards as chips. So,
Y'all rotate the dealer, because obviously dealers got the advantage.
I mean, we really just started this like last week.
Oh, nice.
So
You gotta get some real dollars.
I've been the dealer.
Y'all play War?
Nah, I don't even know.
High
What
card?
that is.
Battle?
Get some coins.
War,
in there or
battle?
Yeah.
AC Doocy? You know what AC Doocy is?
No, I don't think so.
AC Doocy. I mean, they're not playing. They're not playing for real money.
Yeah.
Maybe $1, maybe. That still can get up there.
Play for Uno cards.
Yeah, play for Uno cards. Play for like someone's gonna take care of lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's important to me.
Yeah.
Right. Like we used to have. I say back in the day. Like, we had cell phones and like we had all this stuff, but we would have ping pong tournaments. Did y'all still have the ping pong table?
Yeah,
Whatever, but
same one.
we still have, they
Wow.
Need to get a new one.
They need to get a new one.
Yeah.
That was a shot.
Yeah.
Same one.
Yeah. We used to have ping pong tournaments. They used to have like.
By the way, he was saying we're old.
NCAA, I know.
Yeah, that was
If
a
you didn't
shot.
catch
We
it,
definitely need.
that was a subtle
we
shot.
do. We do need one. We do need a new one. They had that since 2009. The thing's a
Really?
dinosaur.
Yeah,
Right, when
it's
we
like
first-
curved at the edges, so
Yeah,
you hit it right
That's
there.
for Mikey
Or
losing one
recover it.
game.
They can recover it.
Yeah.
Make it fine.
I do. If I need to make an NIL contribution, I do have one in the garage that is
but I don't
not
think
being used.
It's not as heavy duty as the one that they have in there.
It's professional.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the LSU on it.
Oh no!
You know what I
I mean, we could get that done.
Yeah, we'll work
Get
on
Gordon.
it. But like that stuff's important.
Yeah.
Right. Like that, I think to me builds chemistry
Yeah, for
and
sure.
allows y'all to kind of like play for each other. Is that kind of the message at this point? Like, hey, dude, like can't get any worse. Like if we want to get to where we need to be, because you've been here for a couple of years. You have some veteran guys on the team, but you have a lot of new guys, a lot of young guys. Has that been kind of the message to those guys to try to get them on board, right? Because sometimes that's the hardest thing, right?
Yeah.
Is to get some of the new guys on board with the old guys program, and just kind of wondering how y'all are going about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of just been our messages. Like I was saying earlier, taking it one pitch at a time and kind of bringing the young guys along because it's not at all the start that they were hoping for their career at LSU. And just knowing that, like, it's baseball and, like, a lot of our games have been decided we're one big swing away from we're, like, being 12-3, basically. So
Right.
It's like we're really close. We're right there. And if we just know that as a team, then that's whenever we turn around and start playing how we want to play.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's kind of where I wanted to shift this thing to. People really don't realize like the difference between winning and losing and how small it is sometimes. So you got a lot of these younger guys who have not played in this conference or who has not played at this level of ball. Are y'all in the beginning, whenever it is, have y'all been able, as being the older guys on the team, to be able to like point out these little bitty situations that have been game swings, and for those guys, and it doesn't always necessarily turn into immediate impact and the game's change, right? Because you have to kind of go through some stuff to get to the other side of the stuff, right? But have y'all been able to point these instances throughout the game that are very, very, very swing instances and kind of either dictate whether you win or lose right there to some of these younger kids? Yeah,
Coach does a really good job of kind of letting us know that a game is decided by 6 or 7 pitches throughout the course of the game. And, I mean, we talk about things after the game, even when we win, that kind of turn, like the magic moment, kind of turn the point of the game. And, I mean, I think we got swept by Tennessee, but I think every game we had the tying run at the plate at some point in the game.
Right.
And it's just we're right there, and we just got to know to stay within ourselves and play.
Because those younger kids, like I don't care how much travel ball and or high school ball you play, like you just don't realize it and you don't see it at this level with this kind of competition. So to them, like they don't. I feel like it takes a while for you to really be like, wow, that's actually the turning point of the game. Like that actually we need to. When I get to the spot next time, bear down and don't miss it because it may not come back again.
Yeah, because the margins are so much smaller in the SEC, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not that much better than the worst team, but you're that much better at those 7 or 8
Yeah.
pitches, right? And those moments usually go your way. I like to refer to it, if you're basketball fans, like when coaches talk about the little things, they talk about the 50-50 balls. Hey, who's getting the 50-50 balls or the 50-50 calls? So if a ball's on the ground, it's a loose ball. How many times are we coming up with those? To me, that's the same type of thing, right? The 50-50 balls in baseball are extremely important as well.
Yeah.
And right now they're going, the opposite way, right? Part of that is self-inflicted, or some part of that is, okay, hey, we're not doing the things we're going to do early in the game so that whenever those moments happen, they get magnified a little bit. But one of those, I guess, pain points has been, because you mentioned it.
Yeah.
When you are playing Tennessee, every game you'll have the tying run at the plate, right? And you just, at some point, it's going to, happen to where y'all do drive them in. Hitting with runners in scoring position, obviously, that is a pain point, right? That is something that I'm sure Jay's been hammering home with y'all. I know y'all see it on Twitter, y'all see it in the media, and sometimes that can wear on you. What have y'all done? Have y'all done anything, if y'all have done anything, to try to get better at that? Because I know at the end of the day, it's 1 or 2 guys are going to do it in the big moments, and all of a sudden it's just going to exhale and everybody's going to do it, right? But there's been something that y'all trying to do to expedite that process.
Yeah, we just got to know to slow the game down. I mean, if you got everybody on our team with nobody on, nobody out, and told them to hit a ground ball to second or shortstop, just about everybody could do it every time you wanted them to. And it's just knowing that that's the same exact approach you could take going up there with bases loaded, no outs, or runners at second and third, 1 out, things like that. And just practicing things like that, like slowing down the game and putting us in high-pressure situations at practice where you don't get it done. You might.
How does he do that? How does he?
A couple triangles every once in a while. But
is he yelling at y'all, trying to
he doesn't raise his voice. He's
Manera used to not necessarily raise his voice, but in those pressure situations, he would have someone else throw on BP and he'd be in your ear behind to try to distract you a little bit. That was his way of adding to the pressure.
In the fall, we do the pitchers.
And then Jared put a helmet on that's 2 sizes
he'd be in
too
your ear
small.
because he knew that shit didn't bother me. So I wasn't listening to him.
He'd be in my ear. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What'd y'all do?
The pitchers would line up and just say whatever they wanted to the hitters, get in their head. And
That's
we had
great.
a machine throwing wet balls, so it's going everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
real balls.
Yeah.
Not the what's those softballs that now, the new ones?
Cat heads?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What are they?
Cat heads?
What?
That's what we call them.
No. These weren't
around
a thing when we were
around.
coming up. This is new. These brand new. They come out same speed, but you hit them and they don't
go
hurt.
anywhere.
They're mush.
They don't hurt.
Yeah, they're like foam kind of.
Yeah, they're foam, but they're not going to come out like a parachute ball and frisbee and come all over
So
the
if
place.
you miss the barrel, it ain't just absolutely ringing your hands and stuff.
Yeah. Oof, that's bad. Yeah. And I guess the other thing, we talked about the offensive side and scoring runs, right? Driving guys in. The other side of it, too, is when you do score runs, the pitching staff, has to get back in the dugout, right? We've talked about that a lot. I think that's a thing if you follow baseball. That's normal.
Yeah.
Hey, you score runs. After you score a run, the guys on the mound need to shut it down so you go back in so you have that momentum. Hadn't felt like we've been able to do that so far this year. A lot of walks, a lot of, around the zones, behind in counts. I think all of that stuff kind of plays together, and it's called complementary baseball.
Yeah.
Lloyd talked about it on Monday. That the big thing that we haven't seen is complementary baseball. The bullpen pitched pretty well this past weekend. Couldn't hit with runners in scoring positions. Sometimes it's opposite. I guess you can tell me if I'm right on this, but the things that y'all are doing behind the scenes, not necessarily on the field, I think it's that continuity that helps build that on the field, because if a pitcher or a hitter wants to perform better for the other guys that they're close to, they're going to play better subconsciously. Do y'all feel that? Do y'all feel like the pressure of hey, we got to really start playing complementary baseball?
I agree. I feel like it's not as much pressure as we just are excited to play for one another, and maybe that's not how it's been. It's kind of we've been feeling the pressure a little bit, and now we can kind of just go and play free because, like you were saying earlier, there's nothing to lose really. So we can go out there, play free every day, and just do our thing, do what we do at practice every single day.
When you go through a slide, whether it's individually or like as a team, there's usually like a natural progression of this thing, and it's usually the disbelief part of it that starts it, and then there's that middle part where you're just straight up frustrated as hell.
Yeah.
Because nothing's going right. And then there's that last part of it where you start to come out of it on the other side where it's you just take a big breath because you're just like, all right, it can't get any worse from here. Do you feel like collectively as a team, like you can feel that's where maybe we are and we could be getting to the other side of this thing?
Yeah, I feel like we're right there. Like we're a couple, like you were saying, I feel like we're a couple big plays in the games from just everybody taking a big exhale and just starting to go right from there and attacking each game and not really just letting the punch come to us and just going out there and delivering the punch and then not letting up at all. And I feel like that's our goal going into this weekend.
Have y'all talked about that at all? Has it ever come to like a head where it's like, fellas, this can't get much worse? Like you talked about like the pressure and feeling the moment. At some point you get to a point where if you feel this much pressure, what does it matter what we do? So if it's always going to feel like, I call it, it's like what's called Murphy's Law, where it's like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. At some point you get to the other side of it where you're like, fuck it, let's go play baseball. Yeah. Like, does it feel like you're getting to that point, especially after you weren't done any favors by the SEC schedule, so now that you can look ahead, I know it's still Missouri and it's still SEC baseball, but with the start that you had, does it feel like, all right, this is where we can actually turn the page?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Not like you were saying earlier, it's like the best teams in the SEC are like right here to the rest of the teams in the SEC, right. So we got to just attack every single week.
Y'all are feasting on each other.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, in the fall, I'm facing great pitchers every single day, and it's like it prepared us for the SEC, and we just got to know that that's what we got to do is we got to go out there and play like there's nobody in the stands when we're at Missouri and take it one pitch at a time and just attack the game.
Let me ask you this. So you're going to Missouri, second straight road game. You haven't been great on the road in the SEC. I think y'all are 1-8 in conference in road games. You're going to a Missouri team that swept Florida. Florida's kind of going through their own little deal right now. What do they do, right? Like what, as a team, what do they do that y'all have been talking about, like that, something that y'all have to be ready for when y'all get to Missouri?
We're kind of we have the Thursday practice tomorrow, and that's more the day that we attack all of that stuff. Yeah. But this past week, we just worked on slowing down and playing the game. Like, doesn't really matter who's in the other dugout. You got to play the game the same way.
More focusing on you than the other team. I think that's important.
Yeah,
too.
For sure.
But this question is for you.
Oh, Lord.
This is for you.
What you got?
So, Jeff Watson.
Yes, sir.
Part of the G team.
Yeah.
The wrangler of the guys and the girls and the athletes.
Yeah.
The expert on NIL. The Wally Pip.
Oh. That's right.
The Wally Pip to Ramsey Barfield.
Yeah. Does even know what that means?
Well, I made sure in the group text. I said Wally Pip. Nobody said anything about it, so I don't know if he knows who Wally Pip is.
I think he does.
Well, if it was on the bar, it wouldn't matter. He didn't take it anyway.
Oh,
here we go. Here we go.
I'm usually the one that brings
it's a lawyer.
But the NCAA announced a new rule in regards to transfers, and it affects the NIL.
Yeah.
This has happened. This was announced a while back, but it was officially approved, I believe, by the NCAA a couple of days ago. Can you explain exactly what has happened?
Yeah. So, give the history is you couldn't do the second transfer without sitting out unless you filed for a waiver and exception and got approved. That went to a federal court judge who said that was a violation. Well, now what happened was the NCAA came and they created a rule and a new regulation that allows free transfers now, no matter what, many as you want. But they did get a little bit of what they wanted in there, which was academic progress. So you got to be making academic progress towards.
What does that mean?
Academic progress towards a degree.
What is that actually?
Yeah,
so,
could you have a degree and then say, okay, I'm gonna transfer, but change my degree, and then say, oh, I'm gonna get a master's. Now I'm gonna get my PhD.
Or could you transfer to something where you have maybe more credits in because it's not as strenuous? Like, what does that actually mean?
So you're at one school and you're making progress, and then you get to another school and they don't have what you had before. You got to continue progressing towards some type of degree.
Yeah, graduating.
You got to be academically good standing. You can't have any suspensions or trouble, anything like that. So you get in trouble with Bama, you can't transfer to LSU, and then that goes away. You're not eligible for a transfer.
Okay.
So as long as you're academic, now what's going to happen?
Were these already rules or are these new rules?
These are brand new.
So these rules
be
of,
tomorrow.
hey, you can't transfer if you're you're not in good standing academically. In the past, you've been able to do that. You have been able to do that.
So if you go
before this ruling,
if you go pass, you couldn't do 2 transfers.
Right.
NCAA came in and said that is not allowed.
Right.
So then there was no rules or any requirements that if you wanted to transfer a bunch of times. So the NCAA is coming in like, we need to make a rule and do some things that are beneficial to the student athlete. So let's make sure they're academically progressing, they're going towards a degree, they're in good standing, and if you do that, you're eligible for your transfers. The other thing, so what they're going to do, so that's tomorrow, it gets ratified or whatever, and then next week is the final, making it the rule. And they're doing it right now because the transfer portal is open until April 30th, which we talked about earlier.
Portal number 2.
And those guys
portal window number
need
2.
to know what rules they're
Porta potty.
abiding by. Yeah, because when the federal judge made that rule, there were no rules in place anymore.
Right.
NCAA smart basically adopts.
Are they?
Well, it's smart for them to adopt the federal judge's rule.
Oh, it's about time.
And come in and say, we're going to allow these transfers, but we want academic progress. What's going to happen now is they're going to create a board to watch athletes to make sure that they are academically progressing.
I'm sure that's not going to have any.
That's going to be fun.
In your mind, like in the early stages of it, what do you think the actual weight that this new rule will have on kind of the second transfer portal and how it'll go and how it'll play out?
It's going to be the wild west even more because now
the
wildest of wests.
There's
like
no
Will
limits
Smith.
on going from SEC to SEC or I mean it's free transfer as long as you're academically eligible and you're in good standing. You can jump.
So basically, like for
5
the football
schools in
player,
5 years.
I can show up. I can have a bad year. I can go to the spring training, go to the spring practice, not play as much as say, yep, I think I'm out, boys.
Well, that's kind of what Kyprine did.
Yeah, exactly what he did. Lloyd got the touchdown in the spring game.
Kyprine out, transferred, put his name in the portal. But Lloyd asked the question, right? You said you transferred from Alabama to LSU.
Yeah.
Right? When the window opened initially, when they said you can transfer twice, you can transfer anywhere but inside the conference. That rule is no longer, you can still transfer inside the conference.
There are no limits on the new transfer at the language at the NCAA. Which this goes hand in hand with another thing that just happened with the federal rulings about the inducement and offering people stuff. So before, you would get in the transfer portal and you did not know your NIL
now you can do
opportunities. Now you get in the transfer portal.
We can give you how much money? X amount.
Booster can come and say, hey, Jared, $100,000 if you go to LSU.
And it's not
completely illegal.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely legal.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Sure, of course.
What if you, with the way that the rules are now, what is stopping somebody from going from a team from almost week to week? Is that
the portal?
The portal.
Well, you can only have 2 transfers.
You got 2 spots.
It used to be before this rule was unlimited, right? Before they said you can have 2 transfers because
that's what I'm saying. It's unlimited.
It was in limbo, and now since they came out with the ruling, it's no longer in limbo.
But
only 2 transfers.
You have to do it in the windows.
So wouldn't you say that could be challenged in the court of law? Wouldn't that be if somebody offered me the opportunity to make more money, then that would be challenged in court, saying that why would you be able to stop me from leaving a job on Monday
you can have non-competes.
And I get offered a better job on Tuesday?
You can have non-competes.
I don't know if they have those. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, but if you're going to compare it to jobs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Do you see a world where that happens, where they have a non-compete in your NIL deal?
That doesn't affect the institutions because the schools aren't doing NIL.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So, but I'll tell you the second thing that the NCAA is putting on the board, which is going to get ratified and go, is that the schools can now help the students get NIL deals. They can't pay, but they can now be involved. So you're going to have all these schools with departments.
Why would they want to pay people?
That they're going to be able to get with their boosters.
Right.
And now they're going to say, hey, Jared, let me introduce you to Gordon Mckernan. And they're going to be able to push the NIL deals from the schools. Still can't pay it, but they can get in there and help them.
They can facilitate.
They can sit on the other side of the table while
they can be the president of business development.
They can set the lunch.
Yeah. They're just introducing.
Yeah.
They're the business development people now.
So now you can have kids play 5
schools. Legit the middleman.
5 years.
School's the consultant now.
They're the broker.
That's wild. So let me ask you this. You may not know the answer to this because we didn't talk about this off air. I didn't give you a heads up. So I know in like the Dartmouth deal where they unionized.
Yeah.
Right. What's the update on that? Is there any update on that? Or
That's going to be on appeal for so many years that there won't be any decision on that.
Forever. Oh, so it's not going to happen anytime soon.
No.
But don't they have another one that's going on right now in California?
A lot of people are going to do it to try to get it through to see.
I was told the other day the California
California.
It holds more weight than the one in Dartmouth, is what I was told. I don't know why.
The one that's still held up in the courts in California right now, right?
And Dartmouth, both of them.
No, I'm asking you. Saying that one holds more weight than the Dartmouth one. Okay.
Yeah,
like
I don't know why.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Maybe they did it better.
That does say maybe they structured.
They had
it better.
lawyers involved instead of a bunch of students.
Yeah, or maybe it's the Dartmouth. You're having Dartmouth as a school do it. Those athletes.
Yeah.
Never seen a game.
So,
USC.
Yeah,
it's a pretty smart bunch to kind of unionize and get.
Yeah, right. But like the school that you're unionizing against, I don't think really gives a shit about sports.
They do. Have you seen that alumni?
Don't think. Dartmouth is the proud home of Brad Ausmus.
Damn it.
Did you know that?
I was about to look up Dartmouth alumni and see if I could see even one name I'd recognize.
They have 2 or 3 big leaguers. You can go look. There's some other ones you would know, but Brad Ausmus was a big leaguer. Is a big league coach.
Yeah.
No, was a manager.
Sure. Oh, he's not.
I don't know if he's a manager anyway. He's a coach somewhere though. He went to Dartmouth, but. Yeah, the NIL, it's always going to be changing. It's going to be crazy. It's always going to be a bunch of it now. Thank you for giving us the updates, as you always do. You've been I don't think Ramsey knows this. You know this.
No, he didn't.
No, he doesn't. But, Josh, back to you. I want to ask you the question on some of this, because you were a young guy, right?
Yeah.
Very recently on this team. You have some young guys that y'all are going to have to rely to make jumps. Right? Like, you'll have good veteran guys. You have guys who have some experience. But you also have a lot of young guys that are going to need to step up. One of those guys who we've been talking a lot about, who I feel like is starting to play well, is Ashton Larson.
Yeah.
Can you talk about him? You smile.
Yeah.
Smile a little bit. Can you
Yeah.
talk about him? How has he been so far with this squad?
Ashton's a great guy. We mess with him a lot in the locker room, but
Mr. Freshman, huh?
yeah, he is a freshman, but it's he's awesome. He's a great kid. I'm super happy to see him hitting well. Like, we all knew that he was capable of it. It's just he really needed time to get out there, and now he's out there and he's showing everybody what he can do. And
he's a better defender, I think, than people thought he was, because he's made some really nice plays out there. And
oh yeah, he was playing Gold Glove defense in Tennessee. He was playing really good, so we're excited. He's gonna come a long way. I think he's gonna be a great player at LSU for 3 years. And
Lloyd, you got anything? You done?
Yeah.
You good? No, I want to get him on the show. I've been going back and forth with him, but he is he's pretty special. I think he's been good. You need that, right?
Yeah.
You need to have some young guys get some experience. Another young guy that we've been talking about that we're hoping to see a little bit more of is Cade Anderson. Obviously, you're not the manager, you're not the coach, you're not making these decisions, but you played behind him this year. How is playing behind him? Seems like he works fast, throws strikes, goes after guys. He's another freshman that you're going to have to count on, I think, during the stretch run. How has he been as a teammate and then playing behind him?
Yeah, he's a super smart kid. I feel like not a lot of people really would know that about him, but he's really smart. Like, when he's not pitching, he's sitting down in the end of the dugout with the coaches, just picking their brains on things. And I mean, like you were saying, he works fast and he fills up the zone and he has really good stuff. So those kind of all work really well with each other.
And as a defender, how important is that for a guy? When you have a guy on the mound that is working fast but also throwing strikes, like, how much better is that to play behind?
Yeah, it feels like you're only on your feet for like 5 minutes and then you got to go back in the dugout and sit down. And he does a great job of doing that. He gets high air. He has a really good ride fastball, so he gets high air. So it's really easy plays, a lot of weak contact and things like that. So it makes it easy to play defense behind him. So.
Going on the road to Missouri this weekend.
Hey, it's going to be a little chilly in Missouri.
Yeah,
just looking
it's going to be a little more. Yeah.
I mean, the low's 39 on Sunday and 37 on Saturday. The high's 58 on Saturday.
Goddamn groundhog.
What the hell? 44 is the low on Friday. What the hell? Why is it always like that?
I don't know.
It's Missouri.
Yeah.
Going there this weekend, getting a series
Pack your
win
sleeves.
and or better, what would that do for the team, the morale of the team, where y'all are mentally, and how much will that help y'all springboarding y'all forward?
Yeah, I think it'll help a lot. Just kind of because we know what we're capable of doing, and just kind of putting it all together on the field
And seeing
being able to get on a plane and come back with a series win or
With a lot of
or
Uno
better.
cards and,
Yeah,
you know, all that
exactly.
stuff.
It would feel great being able to come back home for a midweek game next week, knowing that we showed everybody what we could do.
You
and
think
then
you think that'll lift the no cell phone ban?
I don't know.
Is there a goal? Is it like Major
Just
League?
wondering. I don't know.
I
Maybe
really
he's
don't know.
mentioned.
Yeah,
like,
he's
hey,
pulling off
the,
this is what you got to do to get the
Pulling off
phone
the
back.
dress,
I don't know
yeah.
if he's mentioned it or not. I don't know.
He just
Yeah.
puts it in front of him like a carrot on the
You get a
official line.
phone. You get a
Like,
phone.
does he
You
just
don't
walk
get
in?
a
Does he
phone.
just walk in the clubhouse with his? Be like, this is what you guys gonna be doing. Just let you know.
They're not supposed to be on theirs either, so we try to hold them to that. So.
They're not supposed to be on theirs either. I mean, I guess that's hard for them because
Organization-wide rule.
Recruiting.
Miss V. Anybody? Nobody.
Ms. V, well, I don't even
Get
know.
off
Does
the
Ms. V have a cell
phone.
phone?
I don't know.
She needs one to call
I
back
don't know.
to London.
I think I called Miss V on her phone earlier today, so might have
Desk
to.
phone.
Yeah.
So we had we had a guy who played with us. I'm not gonna name names. Ms. V's from like Denham Springs or right somewhere. I don't know somewhere. She may not be, but she's from Louisiana.
Explain who Miss V is first.
Ms. V is a secretary.
Yeah.
She's been there through 4 coaches.
Most
Skip.
national championships
She's
ever.
held a lot of trophies.
Yeah, she's held a lot of
She's
trophies.
She's held a
Yeah.
lot of trophies here.
Skip, Smoke, Paul, and now Jay. And so she knows, she's been there. Super nice lady, does her job. She's from Louisiana. It seems like she has an accent from a different
Country.
area, right? Not Louisiana, right? We had a guy on our team legit ask what part of London she was from. Or what part of England she was
This was
from.
like a year ago. No, I'm just kidding.
And we're like, what the hell you mean? She goes, yeah, like she's got like an English accent. I'm like, no, she doesn't. She's not from England. And so that's the running joke. That's why I made that. Yeah.
I think you could narrow that list down pretty quickly.
No, I'll
Really?
be surprised.
Okay.
You'd be surprised. We know. I mean, obviously, the guys who played with him, know. But, I mean, from
It's
London,
on brand.
It's tough.
If
It's
you-
on brand.
If you know him well,
No doubt.
it's on brand.
You're going to get your sleeves back out of storage. I'd imagine y'all probably put them up. And
Yeah.
now you got to take them back out. It's going to be a little chilly.
Yeah.
Was that breaking news for you just now, or did you know?
No.
No,
Jay's a big
we
weather
got a
guy.
text earlier about being sure to bring your cold weather gear because it was going to be chilly.
Yeah, that's tough. Not supposed to rain, which is nice. It's just be a little chilly, which, maybe that'll be a good thing. Who knows? Before we let y'all go, obviously y'all are going to Missouri. We talked about what to expect. Y'all are going to go through all of that planning stuff really tomorrow. But from y'all, right? From a team, from an organization, what can we expect as fans and followers of LSU? What can we expect to see from y'all this weekend?
Yeah, we're going to go out there and compete, play one pitch at a time, and not play like how our record shows. We're going to go out there and play like we're the number 1 seed in the country, and that's how we're going to play for the rest of the year.
I love it. I can't wait to see it. SEC Network on Friday. You're gonna have
Him on
be in the
SEC
booth.
now.
He'll be in the
Yeah.
booth on
Oh,
SEC
really?
now.
I'm trying to get a dub.
Not
I
in-
need
not
to
in-
grab
on
one
the
of y'all
game,
after the
but yeah.
game.
He does studio stuff now.
Yeah,
SEC
but we'll do
Network.
a post game, so I need one
Yeah.
of the boys.
Y'all do something. Do something good so you can
Yeah.
get the post game
I'll
interview
try
with
one
him.
of those, yeah.
Say I told you about it on Wednesday.
Yeah,
on
if I
Mic'd
play
Up.
good, it's because
Let's do it.
That's
because
it.
of
Let's
that.
do it.
Yeah.
Well, man, good luck this weekend. We're looking forward to it. Obviously,
Thank
it's
you.
on the SEC Network, national TV for everybody to
Consume.
see y'all turn this thing around. We're looking forward to it. We have all the confidence in the world. And good luck. Stay warm this weekend. Appreciate you and the G team for always supporting us and bringing in the guys and giving us all the insight on the NIL stuff, because without you, Lloyd would be lost.
That's
Very
true.
Lost.
I'm working on that degree.
You can read, just got to read the right stuff.
Yeah, I just can't write.
Just got to read the right stuff. So we appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all's night. Y'all can hang, y'all can leave, y'all can do whatever. We're just going to be shooting the shit. So all good.
Awesome.
Appreciate you. All right. So we're going to transition from LSU baseball or to SEC baseball, or do you want to transition to another sport and come back? Because we got to ask Mikie and Mitch, or should we just go straight to Ask Mikie and Mitch?
We've got a couple of questions in Ask Mikie and Mitch if you want to get to those. Absolutely. All right. So, couple coming from Ask Mikie and Mitch. Here we go.
Ask Mikie and Mitch brought to you by our friends at EFCO.
Yes.
Just giving EFCO a shout out in a minute.
A couple from Twitter here. First one up from Cole
Also,
Bricado.
wait, before, love your shoes, by the way. Didn't even notice this. Didn't even, the Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, that's excellent.
Can we, we don't have, can we, look, can this thing
Yeah,
get low?
hold on. Let me spin this thing around. Zerp, 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 zerp. Look, it's this camera over here on your left. This one right here. Help the people out.
Look at him.
Oh, go up a little bit more. There we go. For all the feet fetish people out there, this is excellent content. If you like Toy Story and feet,
Look at
you
that.
might need to be on the list, but that's awesome, dude.
So I know there's stories been told a bunch of
There's a subscription in our YouTube for these too. If you
Which ones are better?
This is the premium content.
Yeah, those are sweet. Those
the
are-
cleats.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got some
Some Buzz Lightyear cleats.
Buzz
Did?
Lightyear cleats.
Yeah, you would yarded them.
Yeah, first I bet.
Have you brought them back out?
Wore them the next day.
Didn't work out.
Yeah.
It's like Travinski
Are they
in the
making it
Cooper
a
bag.
trip this
Yeah.
weekend?
One hit
this
wonder.
Probably not. They're good with the whites. But
Yeah, grays. Yeah.
They wouldn't look good with the grays.
Yeah, one hit wonder. There's a one. It's okay. Just keep him back in there. Let him think.
Funny how it goes.
Let him think about it for a little
If
bit.
that game was a 4 for 4, you bet you.
That's
maybe
it.
Things would be in the bag.
That's
This week.
it. That's it.
You should
let him
get
think
some
about it a
like
little
you
bit.
should get some Woodies go opposite and get like some boots, like Toy Story
Well,
style.
they won the first
And-
game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they wore them.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, let's
I
go.
wore them the next day.
And then
And then yeah, it happens. It's all part of it. It's all
Get
part of
Andy
it.
painted on the foot.
Yeah, this one has a Andy inside of it.
Oh,
Wow,
shit.
look at that.
Ashton,
Love that.
not far away.
All right, let's get to the Ask Mikie and Mitch Segi, which is brought to you by our friends at EFCO. What we got, Lloyd?
This is gonna be tough with Josh in the room.
Well, we're gonna do that. They can kind of. I guess that's true.
Yeah, this is.
That's
you
true.
know,
Rabbit ears. You didn't hear
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, we'll wait. You know, because
You know, they took the phone away for a reason. Now I'm just bringing it straight.
You're
to it.
right.
Yeah,
We'll,
this
we'll
is
wait.
TigerDroppings.com.
We'll wait. Let's get to. Let's talk about the transfer portal.
Great social awareness by me. That's how to win awareness. Hand up.
That's it. So y'all can go out that other one if y'all want.
Oh my God.
Right here.
Oh yeah. Actually, I can use it.
There's a door right there. Just you have to have a fingerprint.
No, you don't. Not from the inside.
Mine doesn't work anyway.
If I was you, I wouldn't hang around the door. Who knows what these questions are going to be?
Yeah. Don't turn it.
I don't think I'm going to tune in.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna tune in.
Oh, dude. Speaking of, do you ever listen to like the games back, like Lynn Rollins call a midweek game?
Sometimes.
It is unbelievable. He was.
yeah.
He was.
When
on
there's
it.
highlights to look at. Yeah, no doubt.
Well, midweeks are great.
Yeah.
He was on one yesterday. If you want to check it out. Oh my God. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, you had 3 of them.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, dude. Appreciate
Solo
you.
shot.
All right,
Yeah.
fellas.
Thank you.
Oh, you're hanging out.
I'm gonna hang for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, look at that.
I want to hear the question.
Yeah, you can hear the tough questions.
That was great, Lloyd. That was a good point. That was a very good point.
I was like, I thought you were gonna do it. I was figuring you were just gonna find something.
No,
that
that
were not.
wasn't. That
Yeah,
wasn't.
there weren't many.
Okay, let's go ahead. Ask Mikie and Mitch brought to you by our friends down at EFCO. Civil Construction Company in Lafayette specializes in new multifamily construction, site drainage, site utilities, earthworks, site clearing. Great dudes. If you're looking for that type of work, give them a shout. EFCO Development. All right, go ahead.
All right.
We hadn't done a live read like that in a minute.
That was great.
Yeah, they paid.
And we're gonna cut up that. We're gonna cut up that Gordon one that you did first too.
What's that?
The Gordon attorneys that you did at the beginning of the show.
I mean, what was going on?
I don't know.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's
A little
all
rusty,
right.
just a little rusty.
That's right. From Cole Bricado on Twitter, what happened to the team that went 4-0 in Houston? Was the competition not on the same level as SEC play, or is this team thrown in the towel for this year?
Okay, two answers. Both of those are so it is the same team, right? The teams that they played out there in Houston, look, Texas was really good. It was hyped when they played them. They're not as good as probably people thought they were. UL is probably better than people thought they were at the time, and Texas State is not great. But that has nothing to do. It's not the level of competition per se. It is how those guys said it, and Josh said it right, great. We're not worried about the other dugout. We're worried about us. I think that's the big thing. If you go look at the stuff that they weren't able to do, I think you say, okay, yeah, if you'd have done these things a little bit differently, not even been the best in the conference at it, just be in the middle of the road, your record would be somewhere around 500 right now, and you'd be in striking distance of getting everything you want it to be. And I do not think they've thrown in the towel either. Like, that's definitely not the case.
They haven't thrown in the towel. I do think that series is something that they could use to lean on as a positive point in their year, right? If we want to sit here and say that's not the same level of competition, whatever, it's a good chance at least 3 of those teams are going to be, or 2 of those teams are going to be in somebody's regional somewhere. So they're going to be playoff teams. My point to it is you look back at those situations where you're playing in front of a huge crowd and you're playing against teams that's going to be playing in the postseason. Realize what you did then, how you played then, and understand that you're capable of doing those things, right? They've gone through their mid-season skid. Okay, hell with it. Get over the hump and continue to go forward, and that's what they have the opportunity to do over the next 5 weeks.
Yep.
All right. Next one up from Metal Mike 807. Why does Johnson continue to play Coach Johnson? Why does Coach Jay Johnson continue to play musical chairs with the lineup? Hard to build consistency or team chemistry.
I think that's a great point.
Yep.
It's kind of something we've hit on for a while. Sometimes I do think this isn't something at Coach Jay Johnson in my mind, but I do think sometimes when there's so much depth and so much ability, it almost kind of hinders you because it doesn't allow you to let anyone get comfortable in the right way, right? You don't want to get people getting comfortable and not working, but comfortable in understanding what their role is and what they're being asked to do, and then continue to go and chase that every day. So I do think, I'm wondering if over these next 5 weeks that we'll see some sort of normalcy, if you will, and see if things kind of actually start to hit a stride and take off a little bit.
I completely agree. Obviously, the consistency thing is a big thing. You don't get that if you don't get the same guys in the lineup. I think Jay's mentioned it in some of his interviews. He likes to mix and match up the bullpens to.
He likes to do it with the lineup too.
Right, that's what I'll get to. Like, he likes to do the bullpens for who's like the matchup wise, and he does the same thing with the lineups. It's a little bit harder to do that with the lineups because these guys need at bats. They need to figure out kind of who they are.
There's also another side of it. It's all great, and it's a really good idea when you're winning, but when you're losing, quote unquote, you just don't know from player to player, from 0 for 3 to 0 for 4 to 1 for 3 with a walk, or how they're going to take it when it's not the same thing the next day.
Right.
And I think that's where when it's coming down and losing, it gets really hard to gauge what am I getting out of these players actually. What are they showing? How are they showing up mentally the next day? Because let's be honest, like they're all gonna probably tell you the same thing. Oh, coach, I'm ready to go. No big deal. But damn, I went 0 for 3 yesterday, man. He just moved me. What I got to do today?
Bro, it
I
happened
can't just be me today.
in the game. You could be 0 for 2, but like, damn, if I'm going to hit right now.
And what am I going to do the next
they're getting
at-bat?
taken out.
Yeah, like what am I going to do the next at bat? So like they'll all tell you, and even if you go and ask them, they'll all tell you, nah, coach, I'm good, man. Like I get it. But
ain't no way.
You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? So like when it comes into losing effort, it's really hard to judge what am I actually getting out of this said person, and said person. So I think kind of finding a little bit of a middle ground somewhere in there is kind of probably where he's going to have to land at and stay
And you could almost take it one step further if that's kind of, which it will always be on your mind. I don't care who you are. Like if you've ever played the sport or ever played anything competitive, you want to play the next day. But then if that becomes your main focus during a game, then you're not focusing on actually winning. You're just like, wait, I need to get a hit.
Right.
And it's as opposed to what do I need to do to be able to play winning baseball? Like do I just need to flare one up to right field to get the run in? Because you would hope that, and I think that this is true, that the coach would be like, all right, that was a good at bat, but in your mind, like, I need to get a hit.
Well, I think that's the other thing. I think now he's promoting that. Hey,
that's good baseball.
Yes, do good baseball things. Drop something in the bucket every game. It doesn't matter about the hits. Put together good at bats. Put together quality at bats. Whether that means getting a guy over, scoring a guy from third on a ground out, whatever that is. I think you're going to see that more. But yeah, I think that the continuity and the consistency thing is a real thing. Jay likes to try to do it. It hasn't worked, and I think it affects the lineup a little bit. So
he changed it again yesterday. He put Kling back in the leadoff spot, where you have Bear Jones go 4 for 5 with 3 home runs and at the leadoff. Like, oh, maybe that works.
Well, here's the deal, and people ask you. There may be a question: who should be a leadoff? I don't know if that's a question in there at all, but people have asked that a lot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's leading off if nobody's driving guys in anyway.
Right.
So like. You could have the guy leading off and on base 700 at a 700 clip. If nobody's getting hits or runners scoring, it doesn't matter who's leading off because they're not driving them in anyway. you had opportunities to drive guys in over the weekend and you didn't do it. So I think that's the big thing. That's the big question. And we'll see.
And the one guy that has consistently been kind of in the same spot in the lineup, it would be, I would say, Tommy White.
Tommy,
and you,
3.
Yeah, you saw it yesterday. Whenever Milam hits a triple with less than 1 out, White comes up, ground out, scores a run, because he doesn't have to worry about it.
Yep, important.
I know exactly how to play winning baseball because I'm gonna be here every day.
Yep.
Not just winning baseball. I know I'm in the
lineup.
Yeah, right.
And I've been in the spot a couple of times.
So and I do think that plays big into it, whether we want to admit it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who we can pretty much say on the season hasn't hit much of a skid. It's kind of been pretty. He knows he's in that thing every day.
Yeah.
Who else does? There you go.
Devil's advocate to that of if he's not making moves.
The microphone.
And the same question is, why is he sticking with the same thing? Why doesn't he make changes?
The devil's advocate is great because I do think when that happens, then you get a larger, straight up sample size of what the hell am I actually getting out of this person?
Right.
And I think that gets you quicker to the other side of knowing what you got in somebody.
Yeah.
And you could expand this conversation even further to the bullpen of if I get put into a spot where
you're going to see Moffitt a whole hell of a lot more now.
Oh yeah, he mentioned him a lot in the post-game presser and in today's for previewing.
He's your best
Missouri.
arm out the bullpen.
Yeah, he's like, we got to a spot where he's no longer like focused on, okay, if I don't throw strikes, I'm not going to be able to pitch. Like I've gotten to the other side of I trust him a little bit more and his stuff plays. Now he knows it.
Definitely plays.
And
but you saw with Javen Coleman last night, he threw 15 pitches. But it was like, it was 10 pitches were balls.
This was something I worried about, and I can't say that I ever saw it get into this with the pitching staff, but it was something that I worried about in the beginning of the year in the sense of there's so many arms that are good arms. How on earth is he going to be able to navigate getting these guys in? And I didn't think it would come to the tune of what we're seeing right now. I thought it would be guys being able to handle those roles. Seemingly, we just haven't been able to do it. And how much of it has to do with the mental side of this, I don't know. But I think we'd be crazy to say it has nothing to do with that. So it'd be funny to see how things are going to play out.
And I think you got a little bit of that answer from Josh whenever he came in here, because they kind of have realized, okay, we've been stressing about this thing and that's not working. Whenever you can try too hard, and then whenever you get to a point where boys, let's look around at each other and go, all right, this is as bad as it can be. We're at the bottom.
Yeah.
Let's just kind of free up and play a little baseball.
That's the stages of a slow. Like I said, you start off and you don't really feel like you're in one, but things aren't going right, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Getting a little tired of this, and then you get really frustrated, and that's when people are throwing things, cussing, doing all this and that, and then you get to that final point where you're just like, bro, it can't get no worse than this. I don't even give a shit anymore.
Let's go play some baseball.
And then you start playing.
It's supposed to be fun.
That's kind of how it goes right there.
It's a kid's game.
Yep.
And this next question kind of leans into that. Kenneth Bilala from the YouTube chat asked him, what's this team missing? It looks like things could be turning around, but I just can't put my finger on it. Why?
Experience, dude. Experience.
When they're getting
and
that
cohesiveness. We talked about it before. There's a ton of new arms. There's a ton of new bats who were not everyday guys for him last year. Experience. These guys just haven't had the opportunity to gel and play together. Sometimes that takes a while during the year.
Yep.
Sometimes you just never know. A win here, a win there could kept them floating a little higher or actually get them going a little quicker. Just experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think experience and continuity, and that all comes together, right? You have people that you need these players to get in the lineup more, have more experience of failing, understanding how to win. What's missing, I think, is just that continuity. These guys kind of understanding who they are as a team, which we've talked about a lot, and you don't get that until you go through some of this kind of stuff.
In that same vein, though, you haven't really found anything that consistently works. So if you're Jay, how do you make that decision on?
That's where I think it becomes hard, because if you've moved as much as you've moved over this portion of the year, and it hasn't really picked up and taken off, well, then who do you settle on?
Right.
That's where I think this really becomes hard. That's why I think it's easier to find something and be able to mix and match and pitch from there and kind of mix it up things there. I think it's hard to do it the way he's done it, because just in the sense that it doesn't work, then how do you land on something? And I kind of think that's where we're at.
They trust all each other, and they're the guys. They got the guys to do it. They trust each other. It's just not happening.
Right. Yeah.
It takes one or two.
Tell.
Just 1 or 2 games, man.
Yeah.
And, this could be the weekend that turns around. We've said this the last 3 weekends, but it only takes one weekend for them to figure out, put it all together to where they can kind of get on this little run.
All right, and polar opposite question from Stanley Reed, asking Eminem, would you switch Michael Broswell and Milam defensively? I know Broswell has the talent. You can see it with the great plays he makes, but the routine stuff is what gives him trouble.
I wouldn't.
No.
I mean,
I think
let's
if
be honest.
Broswell's moving positions, is to the bench.
Yeah.
Not to second.
I said it like this before, and I'll stick by this. He's been good enough to be a starting shortstop on 2 teams in the SEC. Like, there was 2 coaches in the SEC that says, I want you to play play shortstop for me. So does that mean maybe he's an absolute superstar? Maybe not. But he's solid enough. Now it's like, hey, can you get out of your own head and just go ahead and make the plays that I obviously know you can make, or I wouldn't be putting you in this position.
Brought you here for a reason.
Right, exactly.
All right, last one here. If Jay asked you to walk into the clubhouse and give the team a speech, what would you say in the attempt to get these guys re-energized?
You want to go first? I mean, that's literally the same thing I'm saying here.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like, lean on the experiences that I've had in the past of going through the same things that they're going through right now, and basically just emphasize, like, hey, listen, the season, you got 15 SEC games left. A lot can happen. You see how bad you've been in these 15? You can easily be this good, that good over the next 15, right? And so you've got to figure out what's going to make you tick, right? The guy next to you, you have to play for your teammates. You have to make sure that you say, okay, fuck it. Nothing else matters, right? Wins and losses don't matter. What Jay says to me doesn't matter. What matters is, hey, I'm going to do what I need to do to win for the guy next to me, right? Because it sucks when you lose. And the team is a lot closer when you start winning, so you got to start playing for each other.
I start telling guys to get greedy, man. Like, you're playing for each other and you enjoy each other, but when your number's called and you get in there, get greedy in the sense of not giving it up and giving another opportunity for somebody else to step in, right? Like, I'm taking full advantage of these opportunities today, enough to make sure that I'm written in that thing again tomorrow, and enough to make sure that I'm going to be there again the next day. And you just continue to approach every at-bat. You continue to approach every game that way. And I think if you get a lineup full of guys that are doing that, then you start seeing some team ball kind of play together, and some guys start kind of having some experience together and understanding how to work together.
And here's another thing, right? Like, you look at, I keep bringing Larson up because I think out of all of young freshmen offensively, he's been the most consistent as far as
Milam.
Well, Milam, but he's been there from pretty much day one. But like the guys who've been in and out the lineup, right? And I say this, I'm not saying, look, these guys, you can't expect these guys to go get 3, 4, 5 hits a game. But you look at the box score and you're like, oh, he's 1 for 4. Oh, he's 1 for 3 with a walk. Oh, he's 1 for 5. Oh, he's 0 for 2 with 2 walks. He made a play on defense. Like, those little games like that consistently over time is going, you're going to look up, and in 3 weeks you're going to feel a lot more confident about yourself. And those 1 for 4s with a walk, or 1 for 5s, or 0 for 2 with 2 walks turned into 2, 3, 4 hits, and you're starting to drive guys because you feel more comfortable.
Well, here's the thing too, like, and there's so many ways of putting this. Like, I can take someone like Tommy White, right? Tommy White started his career at NC State, and he swung the shit out of it, and he never left the lineup because he swung the shit out of it.
Right.
He got greedy and said, I know
Exactly.
I can play third.
Exactly.
I need to get out of here. Let me go find me a place to play third. So he walked into a brand new clubhouse with a bunch of dudes in that clubhouse and still said, I'm going to show you I'm the dude here. I'm going to get greedy, right? And he did that, and he has transferred it over to this year where that's become a lifestyle for him. That's how other guys need to start approaching it. Start taking these opportunities as if like it's life or death. Start taking these opportunities as if like, hey, I may not get this next shot if I don't continue to go out there and ball. And then I think things kind of start turning around a little bit.
Yep, no doubt. No doubt. Is that all we got?
That's all we got for
That's
Ask Mikey and
all
Mitch.
she wrote for Ask Mikey and Mitch. We appreciate all the questions. We do it every Wednesday. Please keep throwing them in there.
Social media.
Yep. Audibly, football for a little bit. We haven't talked about football for a second. It's baseball season. We've been talking a lot of baseball. But the transfer portal window number 2 has opened, as we talked about earlier. And LSU is looking, you said, defensive line, looking at specific positions, probably specific players. Do we have any names of these guys that they want to bring in before the season starts?
Yes. So as we said earlier in the show, there's been a big emphasis on defensive tackle. You've already had one that you grabbed from the portal, Gio Paez from Wisconsin. There's also, I think his last name is Abibi, that they are trying to, I think he came in for a visit during the spring game. He stayed multiple days, and that's somebody else that they're looking for at the defensive line spot to add in the portal. And then CJ West is another defensive lineman who's probably the most sought after in the portal that if LSU was able to get would be
sought after their targets or in the portal in general?
Yeah, in the portal. Like
okay.
He's got multiple offers from big time schools where he would be leaving. I forgot where he was, but
they have money to offer.
It was a small time school, and now he's making the jump to Power 5.
Kent State, you said, right?
Yeah, Kent State. And so now he's been getting multiple offers from Power 5 SEC schools, and LSU is obviously in that number. So a couple names to watch for as it rolls on. And I think one more position that they are interested in, but not on the top tier, is defensive back. If you can find like a starter that is in the portal. There's a guy from Florida State that's from Louisiana that hopped in the portal that played there for 3 years. That would be maybe a name that plays slot corner that would fit that mold. Okay. Other than that, it's a very small list because LSU has done it.
They've done a good job.
You're more concerned about the other side where.
If you got a big list at this point too, you're probably in trouble right now.
Yeah.
But they're more focused on, I guess they're having to have some tough conversations within the building of they're at 88 scholarships where they were. You got to get down below 85 because you're trying to add people back. And so there's some guys in there that you're probably going to have to look at and say.
I think that's probably why Kai Preen maybe transferred.
Kai Preen hit the portal. There's a tight end that hit the portal. And then
quarterback.
There's
Brian Robinson.
Yep.
Just hit it.
So there's some.
Walk on. You got to get down those numbers and then get
then you add. So you got to do addition by subtraction.
Yep. Which is it's a shame, but that's the way.
That's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, that's the nature of the beast.
But then there's then the other side of it. There's guys that maybe are talented that you don't want to leave. Like there's some guys in there that haven't really had playing time yet. That are, I mean, if you look at the wide receiver room, you added 2 guys and you have.
Well, you lost one already to Florida State. Brown. Was it Jalen Brown?
Yeah, that was last year.
Oh, I thought it was the end of last year. It was before this past year?
I believe so.
Or was it end of this year?
I think it was before last year.
I think it was end of this year.
Anyway, regardless.
My point is that you have a lot of talented guys, and you're going to have some of those guys.
That's right. Kai Preen is able to, I'm not going to be able to play because you put two more guys that you added in the portal in the wide receiver room. And I think the conversation has been kind of looking at Shelton Sampson. You see them in the media, like hyping him up around LSU. Joe Sloan went back to the podium after the press conference was over and was like, hold on, I just want to mention how hard Shelton Sampson's working. We see it. We understand it. I just want to put that on y'all's radar that he's somebody that is
Have they mentioned anything about Kyle Parker?
No, but they should. He was running with the ones a little.
Be a superstar.
Yeah, he was running with the ones in spring. So.
Actually, I'm kind of glad they're not talking about him.
Don't want anybody else to jump on him.
Well, no, not jump on him, but just keep it under the.
Keep doing what you're doing.
50 yards.
What's that? Potentially. Like let this guy let him go out there and do it. Without having all of this expectation thrown on him, without him ever stepping on the field yet.
Yeah, I was at practice last Thursday before the spring game, and the wide receivers are
special.
It's a good group, yeah.
Yep. They got a guy that's gonna sling it and get it to him too.
The only wonder is what kind of chemistry can we get and how quickly can you get it there too?
Yep.
That's the only wonder.
I think Nuss has been throwing to him for a long time.
Right.
He hit Hilton on a 80-yard bomb that was 30-mile-an-hour wind. That was special.
Nuss got a good armor now.
Oh yeah.
He's got a howitzer.
It was cold, 30-mile-an-hour gusting winds. That ball didn't move. Yeah. On a bomb.
Yeah.
He can
sling that thing.
It's going to be a different experience watching LSU football this year. Just the roller coaster is probably going to be. We had how many interceptions did Jay Daniels throw in 2 years?
Less than 10.
I'd say maybe 6.
I was about to say I think it's like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
You might have that. I mean, when you get a different kind of play style,
hopefully
that number might go up a little bit.
Hopefully, he doesn't throw a ton.
But
You know, he did a pretty good job in the bowl game, so we'll see. You
Go
know,
to tight end. Tight ends are.
Oh yeah,
Tight
Mike.
end
See,
It's gonna be a
tight
big
end
part.
750,
Gonna be a big part.
750 yards receiving for our boy Mason Taylor.
Mikey really means for the group. That's what him and
Pimpton was catching a lot of balls. That's
Oh,
a big
Pimpton! I
kid.
forgot about
That's a
Pimpton.
big kid, man.
He's a freak.
That's a big kid. He was
Trey
catching
does
balls.
Green.
Trey Green.
They look good.
I feel like Trey Green is going to be a lot more receiver than blocking.
yeah,
That's a Gordon athlete.
I mean, he is an
Mac
athlete.
Markway.
Yep.
I don't
They got a
know.
lot.
I don't know.
They're-
They got a lot of tight ends.
Yeah,
And they throw to him a lot.
Yeah.
See?
you're
That
just
run-
a year early,
The
dude.
Jay Daniels run is now the Mason Taylor 6-yard pass.
Perfect. Need a lot of those. Need a lot of those.
750.
You need him to break like 6
He
tackles.
said
and
Mason
keep
Taylor was
too.
going to go for over 1,000 yards last year.
And then I brought it down to 800. I was like, 1,000 is aggressive. 800 because I did not know that Brian Thomas Jr. was going to have the year that he had.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I knew he was really good, but he hadn't really done anything at the time. And I was like, is he going to – I didn't know he was going to do what he did. I thought some of those yards need to go to
Mason
Like
Taylor.
1,000 of them.
Like all the yards.
like all of them. 'Cause I knew they were going to sling it, and they did.
Yeah.
But I was a little off, a little short. Just a little bit.
This
In
is
the
the
bowl
year.
game, yeah, Mason had like what 6 for.
See,
85.
that's what made me think.
You know what happened? It must have been like it must have been a nice clear day where the sun was out and it was nice and decently warm.
Yeah, my
Like,
puppy dog mentality was kicking. I was in a good mood. I was in a great mood. It's not football season though.
It's not.
We're getting there though.
It's basketball.
I can't wait to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Are you going?
Yeah, we on a text string right now about jumping in a trip.
Oh.
That somebody's setting up.
I'd
I
imagine.
jumped in on a trip that someone's setting up. I don't think it's gonna be like.
So deal.
Yeah, are you going? I'm on the plane.
I'm on the text right now.
I'm on the
There's
plane.
only not many spots left,
I'm on it.
and so we're debating right now to jump on 4
Why
of
would
us.
you not? It's the best
Yeah.
deal you can have.
Yeah. All right,
Well, Gordon.
I'm getting in there.
Well, unless Gordon's gonna fly you there personally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, is that what you're waiting on?
That's what I'm waiting on.
Is that what you're waiting on?
No.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously, that's the better move.
Right on the airways, baby.
But the trip that you're talking about, if you look at the numbers and you look at the
really good.
cost of what it would cost to stay at a hotel and the cost of actual getting a normal Southwest flight, which there's no more nonstops. I'm sure they're going to add
Yeah.
more, but there's no more. The cost of it combined is more expensive than what that trip's going to be.
So this,
Because that includes rooms.
yeah,
right?
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in there.
All right, let's jump in.
All right.
Look at that.
I'm setting it up, dude.
Sold them.
Sold.
Yep. Tell the guy I deserve a cheaper ticket because of that.
2 for 1.
2 for 1. All right. Before we get to the seggies and before we get to like the other stuff of the show, like I said, we're talking football. We're getting excited for football. I think everybody should start getting excited for this run LSU's about to make. Let's run through the SEC schedule that we got this week, right? Baseball, SEC baseball is like SEC football where teams are going to beat each other up, right? A&M, number 1 team in the country, is going to Alabama, who just beat the former number 1 team in the country.
At
2 out of
Alabama.
3. At Alabama, right?
Yeah.
So that's a tough series for A&M, right?
Tougher than you think. Yeah.
Yep. Florida's at Vandy. Florida's been Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, they have not been great. Vanderbilt just got their doors blown off by A&M.
Gotta imagine they won't do that 2 weeks in a row.
Exactly. You got Ole Miss, who is playing better, at Georgia, who has the best hitter in the history of baseball on their team right now.
Babe Ruth is on their team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Babe Ruth and Ted Williams combined on that team in one guy.
They unfrozen.
Put him together, he looks like Chris Bryant, but
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
whole thing going on. Yeah.
So Ole Miss is at Georgia. Should be interesting. Look, Charlie Connor's got 24 home runs with 15 SEC games left, probably 18 maybe.
And in that ballpark again too. So
Yeah, 18 homers. 18 games left in the season. So like
18 homers isn't out of the question.
18 homers is not out of the question. Tennessee's at Kentucky. That's the big one of the weekend. It's a top
easily the biggest one of the week.
5 matchup now. Kentucky's schedule gets significantly harder in the back end.
That back end of their schedule, starting obviously this
That's
week.
where it starts.
I can't wait to see what they do. Now look, they put themselves in a great spot to be able to win an SEC championship and for sure be able to host. But this is where their schedule gets really tough.
And they're going to show you how good they really are.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think everybody's been waiting for that. What?
You got this man just straight up addicted to booking this travel.
Yeah,
He
shoot
just
a
put the
drop.
microphone
Yeah, I know, I got
down
it locked
and
in
straight
now.
phone.
I got double hands.
He doesn't even know what
He's
we're
not
talking
even know what
Business
we're
is
talking about
business
right now.
time.
I know. I know. But we're waiting for the other shoe to drop for Kentucky. That's what we've been waiting on all year. It hasn't so far.
I wouldn't even say the other shoe, dude. It's just
The law of averages.
Well, I mean,
Not
they're
even
14
a
and
lot
1.
of-
They're
here's
14
what-
and 1. I
here's-
mean, nobody expected
Here's
that.
what I think about Kentucky. This is just me, right? Can you name a top 50 prospect on their team?
I don't know. I mean, I can't.
Okay, I can't either. They're middle of the road in pretty much every stat, offensively and defensively, on both sides. And that's what they've done against the not so ridiculous part of their schedule.
Right.
And just go over the past couple years for sure, especially since like game has kind of started to change. Name me a team holding a trophy at the end that don't have dudes on it. Like
No, right.
legit
I'm with
dudes
you.
on it.
100%.
So that those two things for me, when I look at them, if I took away their actual real record right now, just straight up wins and loss record, and I showed you,
Right.
do they have dudes and where they are stat wise, you'd be like, that's not a team I believe in. at the end of it.
100%. And that's why I'm saying everybody's been waiting on it. I've been waiting on it. And now they're playing. Their schedule is getting tougher. So we'll see what happens over the last 15 games. That starts this weekend. Tennessee's at Kentucky. We will see what happens there. You got the cellar dwellers. Next, Auburn is at Mississippi State. Not cellar dwellers. Auburn is a cellar.
Yeah.
Mississippi State's ranked as higher
State's
than
in
us.
it more than you think.
Yeah, in the SC. Auburn is at Mississippi State. You know, who knows? Maybe Auburn takes a couple games from them. You just never really know. And then Arkansas is at South. Let's see. I'm gonna tell you right now. So Missouri's 5-10 at the bottom of the East, but better than us.
And Auburn.
And so Arkansas, they got swept at Arkansas. Then they played Vandy, got swept against Vandy. Then they swept Florida. And then Georgia took 2 out of 3 from them. So there's a few common opponents. The only one that they have the upper hand is the Florida series. So there's your on-the-spot answer to the question.
It's not quite what you thought it was at the beginning of the year, where you were looking through this SEC schedule and you said, okay, the first half's a gauntlet, then you get to Missouri and you're like, okay, maybe this is where LSU will, depending how they got through the first half of the schedule, this is where you can definitely start to circle some wins. Doesn't quite feel that way anymore. Not because of how LSU's played, but also because Missouri isn't as maybe as bad as you thought going into the year.
For sure. They just have to win. Like can't project wins anymore. They just got to win. So you just got to see what happens.
Save
this weekend.
Save the predictions for Friday.
I mean, LSU could be 6-12 at the end of the season, at the end of this weekend, or they could be 3-15.
Oh,
that's where we're at. You could sweep or get swept. You just don't know.
And at this point in the year, when you're looking at tournament projections, LSU is currently in the last 4 out.
Right.
So you need to start
winning. Yes.
It's called winning.
Winning. You need to start winning ASAP.
Might need Charlie Sheen.
That's a pretty fair projection, being that if you lose 5 straight series in a row.
Absolutely.
I think anybody would kind of be good.
The fact that they're even in that category of last 4 out, just not even out.
I don't literally. I don't
crazy.
think you could take name off of it anywhere. You just say, hey, they've lost their last 5 straight series. You'd be like, they're probably a last 4 out type of thing.
The first time since the 1970s that this has happened.
1977.
Who's the coach?
I don't know. Equipment manager of football, I think.
His name's Joe Smith.
I don't know who it was.
Literally.
Yeah. Don't know. But best of luck to the boys this weekend.
Skip got it right.
Really do, huh?
Skip got it right. Came in here, figured it out.
Skip got it right. Figured it out. Thank you to Skip for putting this program on the map and making it the program that it is. And then thanks to all the other guys who have kept it going. All right. Let's get to our beautiful segments that we love to do.
Yes.
Mistake of the day is brought to you by our friends at
do you all have headphones?
He plays- No, he does. He's got his.
Oh, I do have them still.
I can hear it maybe through his.
Popped in.
This is so. Caitlin Clark was obviously introduced at the Indiana Fever press conference. And let's just say that maybe this guy is not the most well-versed in covering women's athletics because he comes off as a total pervert. So whenever he was talking to her about, she does the heart hands, I guess, at her family, and he made a mention of that, and then he was like, maybe if you do that to me, I won't be so harshly when I cover you this year. And everybody was like, this guy's, I've got the video pulled up.
Just lost his job.
No, he's like in Indiana, he's notorious for being this weirdo. And so this is par for the course.
What a terrible reputation to have.
Yeah. And so he continues to show I guess this is just, some people don't change.
Don't change.
And here we go. Sorry, the internet's a little slow.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Caitlin, Greg Doyle, Indy Star. Real quick, let me do this.
You like that?
I like that you're here. I like that you're here.
I do that at my family after every game, so.
Okay, well, let's start doing it to me and we'll be able to get along just fine. So, question is.
I mean, what a crazy, crazy way to.
Welcome to Indiana.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she goes on McAfee before that, and now they have a weekly segment together. Where
is that real though?
Absolutely. Why would you not? That's perfect for both. She's playing in Indiana.
I would think it'd be great. I just didn't know if that was a real thing or not. That's how it works, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Caitlin Clark Wednesdays. Can't do Rogers anymore.
Yeah, he's gonna do Rogers. He's definitely gonna do Rogers.
I don't think he wants to.
You don't? I think he does.
I don't think you can have him on.
Actually, I don't know, because he set it up as if, hey, we're trying to work. Hopefully, we'd love to have another Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. We're working through these deals.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have said working through it. I think if he'd give himself an out, maybe the deal didn't come.
Yeah, Norby got canned, but still, I don't know if Norby, the guy that he went to war with.
Oh, he did get fired?
Yeah. So
when?
McAfee won the war, like 3 weeks ago. But still, I think McAfee has enough business sense to be like, I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze. I did what I needed to do. I got to ESPN. I became the show that was picked up, and I don't know if he needs Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays anymore.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know if he
can't
needs
have
it.
a guy on there. I mean, he would have said that on McAfee.
Actually, it went. I feel like last year started going the opposite direction.
Right, where this is a headache.
Yeah.
I don't need you. He doesn't, because he would have said that on McAfee. He'd talked about AIDS on McAfee. He'd be like, okay, it's hard to make this funny whenever you're being so stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. Tough weirdo Indiana guy with the question. I don't like that.
No,
definitely a mistake of the day. Curtain call is brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners. What we got today, boys? Anybody got curtain calls? I got one.
I also have one. You go ahead.
You want to start it off?
Yeah, I'll start it off.
Okay.
Curtain call to Steve Ballmer, who
hey, he's doing some
innovative.
Yeah.
Innovative. So obviously they have a new stadium that is being built for the Clippers, their final standalone stadium, as they've always shared the former Staples Arena. I don't know what it is. Crypto Arena now. But they have seats for the wall, which will be assigned. This is for fans only. It will be assigned based on how early you get to the arena for the game. So you get first come, first serve, and the earlier you get there, the better seat you get. But the rules, and for the wall, it's 51 uninterrupted rows of fans. You cannot cheer for the opposing team. You cannot wear opponent gear. Tickets can only be resold in the Clippers marketplace, and a season on the wall ranges from $5K to $25K, which isn't that bad for LA prices.
Right.
But it's going to be a total fan fest. It's like a student section for the NBA.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why people don't do it more.
You're gonna put the people that want to be there, like the atmosphere of it, is I think you're gonna create what you're looking for.
Yeah, like the guys from Major League.
Yeah.
Good.
Exactly.
I'm going to give Lloyd a little time to tee this thing up so he can get to it.
Okay.
I'm going to give my curtain call to Dion.
Ooh.
It's going to go a little bit to their spring football. Now, Dion's been on record saying that he does not go out and recruit.
His
sons do it, however they do it, right? So he's got a different way of approaching this thing. I would also say that this video kind of goes to show you there's a different way of approaching this thing. Now, what I believe truly is that the showman out of Dion is never going to really leave Dion. That's always going to be a part of him.
Right.
So he has found a way to kind of give you an inside look on how he deals with his players. And if I were him, and saying I don't go out and recruit, I'd be putting together a reel of these kind of things to be able to send out the people that I want. So let parents know this is what I do here and this is how I kind of deal with my players. So this is the video.
You know who that is?
Nate Robinson.
Yep.
You know what I mean? How you doing?
Which is awesome because Nate Robinson's going through it right now.
I'm good, coach.
He needs
If you need us, let me know. Yes, sir.
kidney.
All right? I'm proud of you, boy. Keep
Kidney
on.
donor.
Appreciate it. Keep on.
Or he's probably not going to make it.
Yeah.
And so that video was Dion.
It's a video. He's basically showing you how he coaches, giving the kids some love, kind of bringing them in. I'm sure there's all of that and everything under it, and there's no telling how he's trying to use it, but I like it.
I don't even think that's using it. It's just being
genuine.
It's just it's genuine. Like, hey, dude, you good?
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, it's obviously playing out very publicly what's happening with Nate, and it's like, I don't even know. Some people would look at it another way, where like you don't have to put that on camera if it's actually genuine. But I mean, that's Colorado. That's Dion. Like
That's what I said. Like to me, the showman in him will never leave. So if you're sitting here thinking that there's never going to be some, hey, look at me, if you will, that's how he is. That's how he's always been. So you're crazy if you think that's going to change now just because he's in a different role. I don't really think that's going to change. But how does he use it? I feel like that's a very good way of using it.
Yep, no doubt. No doubt. Great.
we lost 11 players in the portal today.
Colorado did?
Yeah, they're losing the wide receiver. I mean, the cornerback.
Yeah, the 5-star corner that he was openly.
The number 1 player.
Oh,
Carmani.
Mm-hmm.
He went there and then left.
Well, that was a kid he was like openly like.
Oh yeah, he called him out.
Like over and over again.
What you think he could do? Show up.
Yeah.
Be on time. Go to meetings.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Then he probably.
Let me give you a list of things he could do.
He went off on him.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that kid left.
Quincy Wiggins is there.
Yeah. Stud.
Oh, that's right.
The DN, he transferred there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy deal. 11 guys in there is tough.
Like they had.
He's gonna spin it saying, "I want those guys."
Yeah, I'm weeding them out.
Yeah.
And I think he signed 3 in recruiting. So
8 net of 8 that they lost.
Right, but I'm saying like you usually sign more than that. Like his plan was to use the portal.
Right. Well, maybe he's using it.
Yeah. It's going the wrong way as of now.
Yeah. Right.
He's always going to have a high transfer number just because of how he coaches and what he expects.
That's exactly how I see it. I think that's just the way he is trying to run the program.
I mean, he checks everyone's film to see how much film they did.
Right.
Which is technically, I think
And
that's
they
like illegal.
Calls them out if they don't.
Why would that be illegal?
Because you can't mandate that they do something outside of like your practice time.
Oh, he said, I'm not mandated. They're just not going to be on the field.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, you just won't play? I don't think that's mandated.
He said, it would be idiotic for me to put someone out there that I don't think is prepared.
Yeah.
And if you're not watching film, you're not prepared.
Right.
So it's not really.
Yeah, but just by the letter of the law.
Yeah.
The letter of the law is like, hey, these are the things I expect you to do. To be
Yeah, if
better.
you're not
You
doing
don't
the
have
action,
to
if
do
you're
them.
not going to do this,
you're just not going to play. I'm not going to kick you off the team.
I'm not
You're
saying
just
you
not
have
gonna
to do it. You can do whatever you want. I'm just going to check it. And if you're not, it's probably not going to put
What
you
are
out
the
there.
football, the OTAs that are voluntary but not really?
Right.
Yeah,
NFL.
optatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just everybody has these things. Just because he's
Absolutely.
telling you that he's doing it doesn't mean that it's like illegal. We know
That's,
what's
just,
going on.
that's how he coaches.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. My current call is to Jack Caglione.
What did he do?
Bomb.
From Florida. Not just the bomb that I'm talking about.
biggest.
He hit a 516-foot homer over the scoreboard, but he has hit home run in 7 straight baseball games. It's very hard to do.
Wow.
I've never done that.
Did it start with LSU?
He's played more than that. It's been a long time since he played LSU. 7 straights.
Oh yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah. But 7 straight, it's impressive. What's the most you've ever done, Jay?
Maybe 4.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 4, I think, is the most I've had in a row.
1
1.
career.
Yeah, 1
I
career,
think
1 in a
4.
row.
1 in a row.
4 games in a row, I think, is mine as well. 7 straight. Wild. I think that's the record in baseball. I think maybe 8. 8 straight games in professional baseball.
7 is crazy.
7 is
week
crazy.
straight of hitting homers.
7 straight. Not 7 homers.
I've had 6 in like 7
straight,
straight 7
yeah.
games, but literally 7 straight.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Crazy. All right. That's all we got for you today.
Oh, and shout out Dylan Cruz, walk off.
Shout out Dylan Cruz. Walk off. Shout out Dylan Cruz getting hot.
Yes.
He's getting hot. He's his last 3 games, I think he's gotten 3 hits, 4 hits, 1 hit, hit a homer, his second home run of the season. He jumped his average from 225. It's early to 275. He's getting hot. So weather's warming up. That's probably what's happening because they're playing in Harrisburg, I believe. And early baseball's tough to get your feet wet. So shout out to DC. Walk off and he's feeling himself.
I think he hit Grand Slam also.
Did he? His first home run was a Grand Slam?
I believe so. I might have seen that on Twitter.
No, it wasn't his first home run.
It wasn't his first.
Because he only has 2 home runs this year.
He homered the center, then he hit a Grand Slam the next day, I believe.
Okay.
He was close. It wasn't his first home. I know for a fact.
That wasn't his Grand Slam. I was just asking because he only has 2.
Yeah, no.
For the year. So I don't know. All right, that's all we got for you today. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back live in studio from 1 to 2:30-ish. Jay Mitch will be zooming in because he will be doing his other job in a different city and state. So tune in to Thursday night if you want to watch Jay on TV in his all-white suit on SC Network.
Some would say it was 10.
Someone say it was 10.
Some would say it was 10.
But you'll never know. You'll never. It's a mystery. It's like the mystery thing on the Airhead. The all white mystery.
No, what flavor is it? Yeah.
What flavor?
I guess if you don't name something, you don't know what it is.
Mystery. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't watch us, you don't like watching us or anywhere you get your pods, you can listen to us there. Again, we appreciate your support, and we will be back on Friday. We already here on Wednesday. We'll be back on Friday with a little preview of the weekend. So enjoy your night. Peace.